Hello, welcome to another Cup of Joe. I'm your host, Joe Tumalo, CEO of PG Partner, here with my guest, Rick Peck. Welcome, Rick.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here, Joe.
Rick is President, CEO, CFO, CMO, COO of Richard
Chief,
Peck Consulting.
yep, yep, yep. Chief bottle washer.
Lots of experience in all aspects of philanthropy and fundraising, gift planning, and really excited and grateful to have you here. Thank you, Rick.
Glad to be here. Thank you for having me, Joe.
So one of the things we talked about on our first conversation was rejection. And you just had some good insight. And for me, I've been in sales and fundraising close to 40 years now. And it's always, I do most of my work is calling people that are not expecting my call, loyal donors, or now I'm doing grateful patient calls, which are cold calls to non-donors, which are even more challenging, right? And it's a lot of years of doing it, but there's still some days where it's like, I just don't want to deal with the rejection today. So I think it's just a never-ending process, like anything else, to just learn to deal with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was in sales for a long time. I was a financial advisor for 7 years. And we used to joke around. It was smile and dial. You get the list, old and cold leads, and you call them and you see if anybody wants to do business with you. And so I guess I was born and bred on the idea that probably most people are going to say no to me. And so my goal was who's going to say yes? So it was just a mentality of, instead of I'm being discouraged because people say no, I actually got excited when people said yes. So I was kind of moving through all of the no's to get to the yes. And to this day, I still think that way. I think there's a lot of people who do want to do business with me. I just haven't found them yet. And my job is to go and find them, or is to be as easy as possible to be identified or to be found. And hopefully they find me and we match up, because I'm not going to be able to work with everybody in the world, but I'm going to be able to work with a certain amount of people. And in that, I guess that's what motivates me against rejection.
That's great. You and I talked about my adjusting to the world. It's everywhere. It's not exclusive to fundraising. It's not exclusive to me personally or us as consultants, but just the new way of, because of so much information, everything online, technology in some areas is replacing human connection. It's a phrase that I use, and right, and it's easy for people to just move on and not say, okay, you know what? No, thank you. Appreciate it. Not even that anymore. It's just, so it's me. It's not, when I first started realizing, it's like I was mad at other people. Now I'm like, it's me. And they may be saying to themselves, why is this guy expecting me to respond to him? Right?
Yeah, there's all kinds of reasons. I mean, I think you're right. We're in an age where we're inundated with media. I had heard at one point, we're in an age where it's not a matter of finding the data. It's a matter of managing the data that's coming at you. It's managing the influx. So for all you know, they may have just missed your email because they got 27 other emails that day and they're trying to respond to everything. And, so if you emailed them again, maybe they'll say, oh, thank you, Joe. I'm sorry I missed your email. And maybe it's just a bad day. Maybe they got sick or something else happened, so you don't know what it is that's keeping them from responding to you.
Now, how about with donors? I don't want to get too far off track, but I was thinking before our call today about, like, most of my donor work historically has been in plan giving. And when I'm picking up the phone, I'm calling loyal donors. So there's a connection there. But my business, because of the demand, I think, out there, it's not just plan giving. We have to be holistic giving, right? Annual major plan giving, be prepared to talk about anything that helps the donor. There just seems to be a fine line between accepting no, thank you, I'm not interested, and keeping it going without being pushy. You know where I'm going with that? It's like, and I talk to some people, a lot of it depends on our style or demeanor.
Yeah.
People can get away with that. I'm like, look, my mindset is you need to feel good about, and I even say to that, like when I cold call grateful patients, I work here at the hospital. I work with patients who are having a great experience and like to donate to charity. I just put it up front. If you like to donate to charity, you're having a great experience. How would you feel around a conversation about ways to pay it forward to your physician, nurses, and staffs in the program, et cetera, et cetera? And like I said, numbers game. I'm about between 10 and 15% success rate. 10 to 15% say I'm open to a conversation. I
Yeah.
don't know. Is that horrible? For a cold call to non-donor, somebody who's never made it and is getting inundated with charities, I think it's pretty good.
Very good. Yeah. You're obviously compelling and you're making a good case. And so, yeah, it's a numbers game. There's a lot of people are going to say no. And again, you don't know why they're saying no. We used to play a game when I was financial advisor, and we'd call it a phone clinic. And the game of phone clinic was this. You and I would role play. I would play the advisor. You would play the person I'm calling. The game that you would play with me is there's one thing that is going to hook you into having an in-person conversation with me. I just have to figure out what that is.
Wow.
So in other words, you couldn't say no to me. You would say yes to me, but it has to be for the right reason. So in other words, it wasn't like, it was an impossible game for me to play. So we would open it and we'd say retirement, taxes, education. These are all concerns for a lot of people. Which of these is a concern for you? And you would say education. Joe, what about education is important to you? And you would explain it. And I would say, if there was a way that I could help you get your children through college in a way that felt like maybe it was even tax beneficial and cost beneficial, would you be open to having that conversation? And you would say yes. And I would say, Joe, what else? You mentioned education, retirement, cash reserves, insurance, anything else that's important to you? And you'd say, yeah, taxes. What about taxes is important? So you can see it's just ways for me to say, you've already told me what's important to you. And now I've already have two things. There's two reasons you'd meet me, education and taxes. But you always have permission to say no. You always have permission to say, I'm not interested in any of these things. Again, but the game that we played in preparation for calling people on the phone was, what is it that is your pain point? What's the thing that makes you get upset? And what are the things we can discuss together to get you to a solution? And I still use that mentality to this day. Like, maybe I'll come up with nothing, but maybe I actually will bond with you and we'll connect and we'll find something that we can mutually work on together.
I love that. So how do we apply that to working with donors?
Well, I mean, again, donors are, if they've never been donors, then they need to be sold on why would I be a donor? Like, maybe I don't feel like I'm making a difference in the world, or maybe I haven't found my favorite cause, or maybe I haven't found the institution that's actually doing good work, right? Or if they have been a donor, same thing. They're like, I've given a lot of money. I don't feel any satisfaction from it. I don't know that anything's really working. Why should I keep doing this? Joe, help me understand why I should continue to donate. With all the choices in front of me and all the impact that I don't think I'm making, help me understand why I should do that. So it's like maybe they just need a little convincing, and they need somebody like you or me to say, let me show you what success looks like. Let me show you how that would work. I do respect the fact that you're trying to make an impact in some way in this world. How can I help you get there? So it just comes from a place of wanting to help and wanting to be a teacher and wanting to be a guide, and hoping that that person you're talking to is looking for that guide or that teacher. And if they're not, they're going to tell you. Nothing you're saying, Joe, or nothing you're saying, Rick, is resonating with me. Okay, that's fine. Thank you for your time. And then you move on to another person who may want to have a conversation with you and talk about charitable giving, right? It's just like, you just got to keep on moving.
This is great. I just want to keep a little further on this. So let's say it's a cold call to a non-donor, right? These are the toughest calls to make.
Yep.
And so maybe the question is, the question I use now is, if you're someone that likes to donate to charity, let's say they say yes, then taking what you said in your financial advisor example, it's what of these are important to you in your decision for what charity you support. Right? There's
Yeah.
1.4 million 501c3s out there. And
Yeah.
most of the time when people are like, uh, pretty much everybody has a good patient experience, fortunately, with the hospitals I work with, I'm working with now. And, but it's usually, I just get inundated with so many charities. I can't get to everybody. That's the biggest
Yeah.
thing I get.
Fatigue.
Maybe it's that question is, okay, can I ask what's important to you? Or maybe give them the answers like you did, right?
Yeah. You could say a lot of the people I talk to, they want to save money on taxes, or they want to make a difference in the world. They want to feel like they're really making an impact. Or maybe there's a family legacy going on. They're trying to carry on a tradition. Or they want to, there's a specific topic area that is, which of these is most resonating with you? Any of these resonate with you, or anything here that I'm saying? Yeah, I want to save money on taxes and I do want to make a difference in the world. Well, how do you do it right now? Well, I do it through these organizations. Or quite frankly, Joe, I've been doing it in these ways and it's not helping. In fact, I don't think I'm saving money on taxes and I don't think I'm making a difference in the world. I mean, they're laying it out there for you. And when you said that, when you started by saying, I'm calling people who are non-donors, you also just said they're probably donating somewhere else. They're just not donating to your organization, so that they're already primed to donate. They're just not donating to you. That's very different from I don't donate to anybody. I don't
Right. And
donate.
very,
I don't.
very, very few people say that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't give my time. I don't give my money. I don't give my board membership. Like I don't help connect people in the world. I don't do anything. You're not going to find those people too often. You're just trying to find the person that decides to make the donation to the organization that you're calling on behalf of. But it's a richer conversation there around, let me talk to you about making a difference in the world, or again, whatever your area of concern is. Then the person's like, Joe gets me. He understands me. And yeah, just on this conversation, I might even just give to this organization because I feel like Joe and I understand each other. And then if they steward me well, I'll stay with that organization and I'll keep on going. If they don't steward me well, I won't. Why would I choose you over another? You've just proven to me that, we had a good conversation today, Joe, but you're not, this organization isn't really interested in engaging with me beyond today or beyond the next year until I make my next donation. So to me, that's where it's that respect. You heard this person and you're saying, how do I provide value to this person? So they continue to give versus a transactional one-time gift. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Or, oh, that's okay. You didn't want to give to us. Okay, well, thank you anyway. But again, you're trying to develop a relationship with that person, even in a short period of time.
Yeah. And we're running out of time here. But to summarize, how do we summarize all? There's a lot there to unwrap. So we talked about rejection. And
Yep.
like I said, I use the term collecting no's. How many no's did you get this week? Well, I didn't get any no's. Okay, well, if you didn't get any no's, then you're not making your calls, right?
Right.
Another way to
Sure.
look at it, how many no's, see how many no's I can get. It's just a mind game, right? Obviously, we want yeses, of course, but the reality is we're going to get mostly no's in these cold call situations.
Right.
Right? And
Yeah.
even with current donors, again, in Plan Giving, I'm calling generally donors. They're donors, but they're not assigned to anybody, so they're not used to getting calls.
Right.
It's still a cold call, even though they're already giving.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah, there's a conversion. Yes. And when I was a financial advisor, the conversion was 50-1. 50 phone calls equals one new financial planning client. So you call 50 people, 10 say yes to a visit, 5 will meet with you, 2 will do business with you in some way, and 1 of them will become a financial planning client. So it was a 50-1. So you had to see a lot of no's before you got to a few yeses.
I use the 20% rule. I'm not that good of a mathematician, but that sounds pretty close. 20% of the people I reach out to, I'll connect with. 20% of people I connect with will be open to a conversation. 20% of the people will be open to some type of current or deferred gift, non-cash gift. Yeah, cool.
That's right. You're just trying to find those people. Yeah, good stuff.
Thank you. And so, how do you help people with your business, Rick?
I help people because in Richard C. Peck Consulting, I work with nonprofits who are either trying to start a fundraising program or they're trying to enhance their fundraising program and take it to another level. I also work with donors who are trying to give away money to the point of making a difference in the world impactfully. And then the third group I work with are professional advisors like CPAs, wealth advisors, trust and estates attorneys who are not very good at the philanthropic conversation, and they know they need to get better at it. So I help them in all kinds of different ways. So that's my scope.
That's awesome. And how do people get in touch with you?
They can reach me through The Philanthropy Guy. That's my email address, thephilanthropyguy@gmail.com, or they can call me at 603-387-3897. That's my cell phone number.
Great, Rick Peck.
Or they can reach me on LinkedIn.
I'm sorry, on LinkedIn.
I said, or they can reach me on LinkedIn. So cheers.
Thanks for the coffee. Take care.
Welcome. Thank you.